Hello, and welcome to Homer for Tuesday, April 8th, 2025. Donde me bete peta boena katos menelaos. Por scarmoi mutoi epitele aed kalaues. Authi meno metatoisi te deg menoseso kenelthis. Theo metasauti sepeno tois epitelo. Donde te prosepin wanax andron agamemnon. Auti menin mepos abrotaxo manaleloin. Comenoi polai garanas tatonesi kelautoi. Tengo de knaiste kae greoro etheranochthi. Patrothen kreneston nomas don wandra ekaston. Pantas dainon mere megalisdao tumoi. Mede megalisdao tumoi. Alla kaiau toi per poneno metheho de puami. Zdeo se pigigno menoisi hie kakote tapareian. Pantas dainon mede megalisdao tumoi. Great. Alrighty. Then made answer to him Menelaus, good at the war cry, with what meaning doth this thy word thus change and charge and command me? Shall I abide there with them, waiting until thou shalt come, or run back to thee again, when I have duly laid on them thy command? And to him did the king of men Agamemnon make answer, saying, Abide there, lest haply we miss each other as we go, for many are the paths throughout the camp. But lift up thy voice wherever thou goest, and bid men be awake, calling each man by his lineage and his father's name, giving due honor to each, and be not thou proud of heart, but rather let ourselves be busy. Poneometha. Even thus, I ween, hath Zeus laid upon us, even at our birth, the heaviness of woe. Yeah, great. What a tragic thing to end on. From birth, interesting. Yeah, I really love this this participle here, right? What is this? To come into a state of being, but very particular here. It's sort of like it is, because the word that was in the translation there is, in birth, right? It's interesting because Menelaus is like, hey, like, do you want me to stay here? Or sorry, are you going to come with me? Am I going to go with you? And his brother's like, no, because, we'll probably, we'll we might miss each other, right? Because the Kalauthoi are so many throughout camp. But while you're out there, let me give you these instructions. Address everybody by their patronymic and their genes, and name each man with all his things that are given to him, right? Things that have been, awarded to him. Qdainon, prize, ennobled arts of theirs. And me de megaliz deo tuomoi, right? And don't let your thumos megalizden, right? Megalizdomai, right? Which is don't be proud. So there's a few things I think that are in there, right? First of all, speaking of Thumos, right? Always comparing with book 9, where Achilles Thumos holds him back from going back into the fight, whereas here, they're basically saying, one brother is cautioning the other, don't let your Thumos interfere, right? And then there's also this great gnomic, thing at the end. So indeed, thus, and Zeus has put upon us just about this this badness, right? This like toil, deep toil, horrible toil, heavy toil, right? That's what Zeus has given them from birth. This is, I mean, it's a wonderful perspective to have, right? That like, even though they're the kings of men, right, they have this burden on them, and the words used for that burden, it's not like, this, noble sort of like, everything is great for them sort of burden. They do bear something, and they're aware of that, and it's kakoteta, right? So it's really bad, and it's a horrible badness, right? I just think it's interesting, and also, this mention, there's sort of a sort of circularity, or rather a parallelness to this passage right here, right? Which is that you have this opening line, right? So so that we don't miss each other, abro taxomen alleloin, right? And there's some brotherly dynamic there. Let's not miss each other, right? Let's not misunderstand each other. Let's be on the same page, right? And then there's, many are the paths, right? And many are also the people, and you should mention each one of them by their celebrated name here, right? This is basically that passage. And then it goes back to the sort of, then we have this next phrase here, right? Which is, this, guard your spirit because we must labor. Why? Because that's our thing, and our thing by birth is very similar to this, note people's birth, right? And don't go past your spirit is very similar to let's not miss each other on the kelaothoi, right? So I just think it's interesting. It's a great small speech. Anyway, there's also good stuff here. Basically, Menelaus is deferring to his brother Agamemnon, who is the king. There's, I don't know, it's great. It's like, it's one of those things, like, you would think that there's like so many things to talk about in an epic that, like, why are we talking about a dialogue of like, should one brother follow the other, right? But actually it's quite important, right? It's quite important that they figure this out, so that they can make their coming toil, right? The real toil, which is going out and hunting with the boys. They can make that as effective as possible. So it's nice they include it, and I think we are entitled to read deeply into it. So, it's a good all around. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you tomorrow, and we will read more. Thanks, and have a great one. Bye.